Ferguson. All right, good night.
So what's going to happen with King now, I guess?
Yeah, we have a whole new card built. So he's going to fight. All the guys that were originally going to fight on that card will still fight, except for Overeem, obviously.
Who's going to be the replacement?
We'll see what happens Tuesday. Listen, no fucking secrets here. I'm not feeling too optimistic about Tuesday.
So he's still going through with the hearing?
Yeah. No, that has nothing to do with me. I could be wrong. I mean, we'll see what happens.
But what's done is done. I mean, if they say, "Oh yeah, you're good to go," Overeem, it's just too late.
Yeah. Anybody who knows anything about the pay-per-view business, we're already right past the deadline. We gotta run. And I'm not feeling too optimistic.
Who's the replacement on the card?
Frank Mir.
I mean, who's the replacement then for because they have to bring somebody else in, right, to fill out the card?
Yeah, other fighters? You mean what are the rest of their fights? Yeah, we haven't announced it yet.
You don't even know who the one guy is who's going to come in?
The one guy? No, there's a bunch of different guys that are being switched around.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Well, you have to add a guy considering Overeem's gone, is what I'm saying.
Right.
You can't say that.
Not done yet. Still working on it.
How come, though, Dana, you didn't make the decision, a couple weeks ago when it happened? Because at the time you said, there's a due process and he's going to get a chance to go through that.
Yep, and he will on Tuesday.
But you guys didn't make the decision then, and now you made it now.
Well, it's getting closer, and let's just say I'm not feeling optimistic about it.
I was gonna say last week you were like, "I'm so mad, I don't want to talk about it. Please don't let me talk about it." Where was your anger directed?
I'm still angry.
At Alistair or the commission? Where's that anger directed?
I'm not angry with the commission. The commission's doing their job. That's what they do. I sat down in a room with Alistair, told me they can test me anytime they want. I'm the most tested athlete in all of sports.
Think you can still do business with him at this point, or do you wait till Tuesday to make that decision?
I do business with Tito. I think I can do business with Alistair.
So he's not in danger of actually being cut or anything.
See what happens. I don't know, man. This isn't really my deal.
You talked to Overeem since then personally?
I have not, and I will not.
If Nevada doesn't license him, you would allow him to apply for a license in another state, though, and compete?
To apply in another state?
Yeah.
No way.
Within like a year time.
No way in hell. If Nevada doesn't license him get licensed somewhere else?
Yeah.
No way.
So
I don't think another state would do it either.
He'll be out for a year.
No,
What international?
we would never do that. When an athletic commission, whether it's Nevada, New Jersey, or whoever it is, suspends somebody or does whatever, will deny them a license, we follow. We don't. We ran toward regulation. We want to be regulated.
So if he applies, it's turned down, it's a year, you're not using him for the year. Is that what you're saying?
Right.
Why was Mir the guy? Why was that the choice?
In my opinion, it was either Mir or Verdum. Verdum's going to fight down in Brazil, on the Brazil card, I believe. But, Mir was already training, Mir was already on the card, and Mir makes a lot of sense. Mir would probably be my number one, and Verdum would be my number two.
What about the reports where you said that Anderson would be fired if he didn't fight
That is
Chael?
bullshit.
It's complete
BS.
BS.
That is such a fucking lie.
Yeah, it got around yesterday. It was
It's
everywhere.
crazy.
Yeah.
I tweeted yesterday.
Yeah.
Wherever that came from, if it was a media source or whoever said it, it's an absolute flat-out lie. Just like I bet $500,000 on John Jones. There's a lot of stupid shit that goes on in this sport now. With people, you get these fucking goofy websites that want to get some hits, and it makes me sick. It makes me sick. Never once did I say that. And never, Anderson and I haven't had a problem about this fight. There's reports out of Brazil with Anderson saying, I want to fight in Brazil. Of course he does. Of course he wants to fight Chael Sonnen in Brazil. I get it. And Chael Sonnen is 100% willing to go to Brazil and fight him. There's been no beef whatsoever with me and Anderson Silva. I never said anything like that. Anderson Silva is a guy, I just sat here 2 minutes ago saying, yeah, John looks great, but John's too young. Anderson Silva's the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world, probably the best ever. But I'm going to strip him of that title if he doesn't fight. I never said anything like that. It's stupid.
Is there a potential that fight doesn't happen in Brazil now, though?
Yeah, there's stuff going on down in Brazil, and I'm working on it. We're working on it still at this minute.
What's the kind of deadline? Because you're getting close.
I know, man.
Stadium.
It's always fun, isn't it? There's always just so much fun shit going on for me.
Who's fighting Velasquez?
Velasquez, yeah. Sorry, you guys are way in the back. We haven't got the fight done yet. We're still working on that one. I'll talk louder here.
Mark Hunt will be a probability?
No. To fight Velasquez? No. Mark Hunt's fighting Struve. That fight's still on. Mark Hunt's fighting Struve. He beats Struve. His next fight will be a top 5 opponent.
That was
I know. I get the whole appeal of Mark Hunt. I love what Mark Hunt has done too, but he doesn't deserve the shot over Verdum, over Mir. He just doesn't.
What would happen to that Brazil card if Anderson and Chael somehow does get moved?
Nothing. I mean, we'll still do a card down in Brazil too. The time would just be moved. The problem is, you guys know what the problem is down there, right?
Yeah,
The United Nations is having a conference down there. There isn't enough hotel rooms. There's not enough security down there. There's not enough a lot of things.
But why does that force the move of Anderson and Chael? Why? Because there's a potential that fight happens July 7th, correct?
Yeah, no. That fight needs to be done in a way that, first of all, we're going to do it in a soccer stadium down there. That's what we were working on. I said it before and I'll say it again. That's not only the biggest fight in the UFC, I think it's one of the biggest sporting events of the year. So that fight's going to be done the right way. We're not going to half-ass that thing and say, oh, let's go over to this arena over here. It's going to be a big fight.
Could you not go into HSBC like you've done before?
Yeah, but no, it won't work down there. We need it just won't work. That fight won't work down there for a lot of different reasons.
Is that a done thing, or is there still
I don't know.
little potential that it may
we'll
happen?
See. I have no clue.
That conference is a week earlier? I mean, is the stadium available? Or
No, we tried to move this thing all around. That's what we tried to figure out. And this is a big fight. This isn't just this is one of our regular, let's just move this thing over here, let's do this. It's a big fight. It needs to be done the right way.
does that mean like we're talking about moving it a couple months down the line and still the same card? Or?
No. Nope.
That conference has been planned for a while, though. How come it just became an issue?
It was never an issue. It became an issue when the people that were running the conference went to the mayor and said, can't do this. They came to us, and the mayor was fighting for it and trying to keep it. And, the whole thing just fell apart. Dude, I told you guys at one of the press conferences, we went after that U2 staging that U2 used for their concert. We've had guys fly down there 5-6 times doing site surveys. We had the whole arena mapped out and ready to go. We were pumped and ready for that. And if it's not a stadium show, then it's not happening down there.
So Vitor and Vanderlei would be a main event.
We'll move Vitor and Vanderlei, and we'd rebuild the card and do something else.
What about the tweet from Lorenzo over to Eddie Alvarez following his big win? Is there anything behind that? Would you like to have Eddie Alvarez in your division? Is there any substance?
I think Eddie Alvarez is a great fighter. You know us, man. We're always looking to get the best fighters in the world in the UFC, and he's one of them.
Did you see his fight with Aoki?
What's that?
Did you see his fight with Aoki?
No, I was filming The Ultimate Fighter when it happened, but I heard.
Any update on Hector Lombard?
I like him.
Strong chance we see Hector Lombard in the UFC soon?
I like him. I like him a lot.
I think he revealed that there's a contract offer. Is there any update on what the status that is?
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
Michael McDonald looked great. Brad Pickett looked great recently. Seems like that matchup would make a lot of sense.
That's a fun fight. Yeah, I love Brad Pickett, man. I love the way that kid fights. And like I said tonight, Rory's a real deal. I really, when Rogue and I were going, when we were going live on a pay-per-view, we were so pumped about that fight. We were talking about Che Mills kicks and hits like a beast, man. I thought that fight was going to be a war. And like I said at the press conference, at the end of the first round, Che looked like he'd gone 5. Rory's tough, man. He's a tough guy.
He did seem like he needed some improvement in his stand-up. He wanted to get the fight to the ground.
I have a ton of respect for Che Mills for striking, and he lit Rory up. Rory got hit with some big shots there. Man, the thing is about being a mixed martial artist, if shit isn't going right on your feet, you get them down on the ground and you do what you do down there. If stuff isn't going right on the ground, you get it up to your feet, and he did what he needed to do to win that fight. You're going to fight different guys with different styles, guys that are better here and there, and Rory came out tonight and proved that he could do it. You'd think that Che Mills wasn't working on that takedown defense and trying to keep that thing standing. He couldn't keep it standing, and that's what made Rory look really good.
From the Here We Go Again files, both Rory and GSP told me on, I think it was Thursday,
never going to fight each other. We'll do the division switches, all those things. Do you get angry, or how do you react to it? Because Rashad and Jones said the same thing, and then what we saw tonight. I mean, how do you react when your two guys say flat out, never going to happen, those kind of things?
We'll see. We'll see what happens. You know, here's what it always comes down to. And we've had this conversation a million times, guys. Why are you in this? You're in this to become the world champion. You know what I mean? I guarantee you, if Rory looks at fucking GSP's bank account, he'll want to beat the shit out of him. All right? That's what it's about. It's about winning and becoming, you know, he's world, everybody around the world knows GSP. They love this guy. He makes shitloads of money, and the list goes on and on. Rory wants that, you know? And it's not like we're setting up this fight where you guys are going to fight and then you have to hate each other after. It's one of the, it's the fight world. In boxing, Larry Holmes was the sparring partner for Muhammad Ali. And he had to go out and beat Ali one day. And the list goes on and on. I could go through a list of people who were sparring partners as they came up for guys and then eventually fought them. It's the world of fighting. Like I said the other day, I said, this is the fight business, not the friend business. It's not. You can hang out and everybody's cool. It's one of the things that people love about this sport is the sportsmanship, the camaraderie, and everything else. But when it comes down to, you know, if I'm Roy McDonald, I'm like, GSP's a friggin' multi-millionaire. The guy's got all kinds of, you know, accolades around the world. He's accomplished all these things and tons of great sponsors. But he's my friend. I guess I'll just sit around and never see if I can beat him. You know what I mean? It just makes no sense. When people say that, it's so stupid. It's so stupid. It just makes no sense.
What do you think about the matchup they announced? I'm sorry, I mean to interrupt that. With the M1 Global and Fedor versus Hizzo. Just out of curiosity, I'd love to get your take on that. Fedor's taking up Pedro Hizzo in his next fight. What's your take on that? Yeah, I know we all know your feelings towards Fedor, kind of. And what do you think about that match?
I don't know, man. Seriously, it just amazes me that people keep talking about Fedor. You know, it's just.
He's an intriguing guy, though. I mean, everybody still seems to love him. That's just the thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's
in
why
what way is he intriguing, though? I mean, I don't get it. But, you know, Pedro Hizzo, I like Pedro. He's a nice guy. I know Pedro's been looking for a fight for a while, you know? I don't know. We'll see what
How do you see that one going down?
I don't know. Who knows? I mean, you guys think that I hate Fedor. I really don't hate Fedor. You know, his management, these guys are made the biggest fuck up in the history of all sports. You know, we flew down there. You heard me talk about the island and all this shit. Flew down there and tried to make Brock Lesnar versus Fedor, and it was for big money. You know, and like I told you guys before, I'll say it again. They fucking laughed at it, and I told him, and he'll lie if you ask him this, but I told him, and he knows I fucking told him. Not Fedor, the dummy. I told the dummy. I said, you're one punch away from being worth zero. This is a huge offer. In the fight business and in life, you get these things shift and things happen and build, and you get an opportunity to do this mega fight, you know? And everything was in line for Fedor and Brock to fight. It was right there. And you don't laugh at those moments. You fucking seize them. You take it. You didn't take it. They thought they were too cool, too slick, and too fucking funny. And like I said before, they're not laughing now. So honestly, it's over for him. I don't give a shit what he's doing.
They didn't want to risk it.
Yeah.
But eventually,
at that age and at everything the way that it was, it's about, listen, I don't know how that whole deal works. They say that Fedor is a partner in that whole thing. A partner in what? Fucking M1? What the hell's that doing? Burning money. He's a partner in your burning money business? That's awesome. You're a great manager, Vidummy.
Dana, what did you think about, I know you mentioned on Twitter you were happy for Brock going back to the WWE. How did that whole thing work out? And have you watched him at all since then? Have you talked to him at all?
Yeah, no, I haven't talked to him since he went on there, but, you know, one of the things that I always respected about Brock Lesnar, you know, I felt like I've had a decent relationship with him since he's been in the UFC. I like the guy and respect what he did. When he did the deal with the WWE, all the rumbling started with you guys. I started hearing about it. He never called me. He never told me. He didn't have to. It was always up front and said in his deal that he could do the WWE. So, but one of the things I love about Brock is everything that we did with that guy, nothing ever leaked out of that camp. Ever leaks out of that camp. Those guys did a deal with Vince, and I guarantee you Vince said, keep this a secret. Don't tell anybody. And he did. He never said anything. He didn't call me. And I think I talked to you. And I sent them a text and said, congrats on your deal. I'll be watching. Fucking never got nothing back. They didn't respond, say, hey, thanks, we're pumped or anything. You know, they just did their thing. And I watched it on, because I actually had heard that it was going to happen the night that The Rock fought, but it wasn't. It happened the next night. And then I watched it on YouTube, and it was cool. You know, for what they do, it's cool. I'm happy for him. The fact that the guy came over here, did what he did in the WWE, came here and did what he did here, and now he's back over there. Good for him and good for them.
Why do you think so many people in MMA have such a problem with pro wrestling? Like, I think it's okay to be a fan of both. But when Brock went back over there, people like freaked out that somehow was going to blur the line or something.
I think Brock is just one of those guys that people either really love or people love to hate. You know, and no matter what the guy, I hear it all the time. People talking shit about him. You know, oh, Brock Lesnar when he was in the, you know, his weight, he'd get you. Dude, let me tell you what. The guy came over here at 30, whatever years old. When he sat down, he was 1-0 in MMA, and I was like, "You're crazy. You're crazy." I said, "This guy's going to get smashed over here," and he didn't. He actually ended up winning the title. He fought. He was never given an easy fight. We threw all the toughest guys at him, and he accomplished what he accomplished. I'm happy for him. Good for him, and I wish him all the best in the world over at WWE.
See, before this fight, Dana, John received like tweets from LeBron James and The Rock, and like today I heard while the fight was going on, ESPN's ticker was doing like round by round scoring for this fight, which I think is a first. Do you think he's kind of crossed the line where he's now become a crossover star?
He is no doubt about it becoming a crossover star. You know, he's he's a good-looking kid. He speaks well, you know, and he still has that young naiveness to him. You know what I mean? But when he gets into the octagon, he's a beast, and he destroys people. And like I said earlier, tonight was a big night for him. Tonight, you know, it was good for him to go 5 rounds. It was good for him to be nervous in the fight against Rashad. All the things that he went to another level tonight. He learned a lot, and yeah. The answer, the long-winded answer to your question is yes. I think he is.
Do you feel like he let off the gas at all though? A little bit, maybe round 4, kind of took it off. Round 5.
Well, I don't think he took it off. I think what happened is, in that second round, he was dropping elbows like they were hands. I mean, he was throwing elbows like they were hands. He was doing all this stuff. It looked like he was getting really comfortable and getting into a groove. And I thought in the third round he was going to come out and do twice as much as he did. But credit to Rashad. Rashad shut a lot of that stuff down. And you know, Rashad's a dangerous guy, and he knew it. And he fought the fight that he had to fight.
Rashad said that he's a 205er, but he did say maybe opportunities at 185. Does that intrigue you at all? I mean, it seems like he could maybe get down to 185.
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly have never thought about it. We'll see what happens.
Would you like to see Lyoto Machida against Evans once again? An interesting fight for us.
Yeah, anything can happen. We'll see. You know, that 205-pound division's so stacked, anything could happen.
What about Gustafsson? Maybe Machida or Shogun?
Yeah. There's a lot of things we can do in that weight division. It's always and always will be a fun weight division.
Is there a ballpark?
Do you think Evans would ever get a rematch with Jones? Do you foresee that something happening in the future?
Anything's possible. I mean, if you know they keep winning, absolutely.
Is there a ballpark date for Henderson yet? I mean, did you have an idea coming into tonight if everybody's healthy, or just that's the fight?
Yeah, I never do, because obviously, listen, if I could turn guys around like this, it's great for us to keep guys, and plus it's great for the sport and for the guys who are actually fighting to keep them out there. Look at how long. It's the other thing too. You know, Rashad was off for so long when he went through those injuries, and then his opponents got injured, and all the stuff that happened. I like to keep guys active. I like to keep them fighting. And John Jones likes to stay busy. He's young.
He was going to take off, and then he was like, "Yeah, I'm ready to get back."
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I need to take. That's what they all do, though. They all want some time off. They get home for a couple weeks, man. You know, watch a couple UFCs on TV, and they want to get back in there.
UFC 149 in Calgary, and that could be a possibility for that. Or how about the lightweight title? What do you think about that card?
Calgary could be a possibility. Yeah.
Do you have an idea who Aldo's facing at that card yet? Still not?
No, we've been kicking some names around. We're getting close.
Mr. White.
I'll have something soon.
Is there July 11th show on Fuel?
July 11th.
It'll be the Wednesday after the July 7th.
Yeah.
Someone gave me that date.
Is Craig here? Is Craig here? Is Craig here?
Craig's not. Craig left.
Okay. I don't know.
So what? Two quick questions. First question: when do you guys get always
Hawaii?
Hawaii, and then what's the location, and when's the next location for the fight for the troops?
I don't know the answer to either of those questions, my friend. I know we are working on a fight for the troops. Dude, when you go into our office, right, we got this huge whiteboard that you write on, and it is just covered in dates and places and all this other shit. And then every day one's erased and there's a new one in there. I mean, it's craziness. So I don't know. We won't be going to Hawaii anytime soon. Yeah, I know.
Mr. White, the question, does the UFC got plans to be in Mexico?
In Mexico? We've been working on Mexico forever. Yes, we're working hard on Mexico. We want Mexico bad.
We got a lot of fans in there that are expecting to have an
Believe
event
me,
there.
we want it bad. We're working hard on that. We have been for a long time. Mexico's like the UK for us. We've been working on a real good television deal over there forever, and we're working hard on Mexico too. So hopefully.
Thank you.
How's China
Huh?
How's China coming along?
China's kicking ass, man. China's coming along faster than expected. We have a date for China already.
You do?
Yeah.
This year? 2012?
Yeah, this year. Yep. And we're working on the Ultimate Fighter for China too.
Talk to BJ at all, Dan?
BJ? Yeah, BJ was at the fight in Sweden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anything upcoming from that?
Yeah, we're talking. Yeah, we're talking.
It's getting the itch?
Yeah, he, I heard some shit that he said he was going to retire and all this stuff, and I talked to him. He's like, I want to fight again. So.
Speaking of BJ Penn, did you know that there was a 4-hour line yesterday in Puerto Rico just to watch him?
I didn't know that.
That's how big it's getting in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, no, we're excited about Puerto Rico. We're doing some stuff over there that hopefully is going to make things explode. And one of the things that was cool, when we were over there, Trinidad came out and visited and stuff, and I love Trinidad. Such a good classic guy.
Talking precisely about Rashad meeting Trinidad and Puerto Rico, UFC heavily promoted one of our videos about them together. What's your opinion about two combat sports legends in their own respects and time coming together like that?
No, I thought it was cool. We always are up front and say, dude, I'm a boxing fan, I love boxing. I point out a lot of things that are wrong with boxing, but I love the sport of boxing. I wouldn't even be sitting here right now if it wasn't for the sport of boxing. And, I love when the guys like Trinidad and Roy was here tonight, and so many other guys come out and support us. You don't have to hate mixed martial arts if you're a boxing guy. And, I love Tito Trinidad. He's always happy and upbeat and just a good, positive person. And it meant a lot, not only to Rashad, but to the company that he came out that night.
What did it mean to you to hear Tito Trinidad say, I love UFC and it's here to stay?
It was awesome. No, I couldn't say enough good things about him. I have nothing but respect for him, and I appreciate his support.
Dana, next to Overeem is your other favorite subject, but I got to ask you, what's the latest on Strikeforce? Are you still hands off, or have you had a little bit of time
I'm hands off, man.
Completely.
I'm hands off. Man.
Are you interested in the show coming up in May? Or are you any of the fights intrigue you at all? Like Barnett, obviously, or
yeah, I know that the guys in our company that are running Strikeforce are going to do a great job. It's going to be good.
You can tell the Melendez is getting really he really wants it. Do you guys have any sort of plan? Because it seems like these years keep going. And
Melendez is a Strikeforce fighter. Strikeforce fighter.
Okay.
Dana, does tonight change your perspective on whether Jones is ready to move up to the heavyweight division, or is that something that's
Does what?
Does tonight change your perspective on whether Jones is ready to move up?
He needs to stay at 205. He can make 205. This is where he needs to stay. Once he cleans out a division and shit starts getting a little old and stale, then maybe he makes that jump to heavyweight. Let me tell you what, man. John Jones is a physical specimen. The guy is huge at 205 pounds. He's out there doing things, and not only is he a big guy, he's super athletic and he's throwing elbows like they were hands tonight. You move up to heavyweight, that fucking Junior Dos Santos up there. Guy's got bombs in his hands. You got, if you look at Travis tonight, you got some big, serious dudes at heavyweight. It's a big jump. It's not just like, hey, he's a big guy. He should go up and have some fun at heavyweight. It's not going to be that fun at heavyweight. Guy is eventually, naturally, going to have to go to heavyweight because he's so big. He's 24 years old, and as he gets older, it's going to be harder to cut that weight. It's going to be harder to stay as lean as he is, and it'll just naturally happen. If I was him, and I'm not his coach, his advisor, or anything else, I would wait till that naturally happens. Get a lot of experience at 205 before you head up there to heavyweight.
Do people, including us, jump the gun on this? And for years it was GSP needs to move up, and then it was Anderson needs to move up. Now it's Jones. Isn't it okay just to be great at one weight class?
Fucking right it is. Let me tell you what, I wouldn't be too itchy to jump up to heavyweight. I would not. It's a whole nother, dude, it's a whole nother level.
Saw it tonight with Chael and Rock.
Exactly.
Like the change.
Oh yeah, boom.
Like that. When the heavyweights get in there, you're like, ooh, here we go, man. And Junior Dos Santos and guys at that size, Frank Mir. Get down on the ground with Frank Mir, man, and let him grab onto something. It's a whole nother fucking ball game at everything.
Do you feel like the Ultimate Fighter's ready for another season of heavyweights where you guys did so well with that season? You think it's about time to bring them back?
The problem is that there aren't a lot of heavyweights. You know what I mean? For me to go out and find 16 great heavyweights, if there's 16 fucking great heavyweights out there, I need them in the UFC, not on the Ultimate Fighter. Who?
Your buddy.
I like Tim. Tim's a good dude.
Any kind of time frame?
You know, no ill will with Tim, but Tim hasn't done anything to say he should be back in the UFC.
Any kind of time frame for Edgar and Anderson?
Edgar and Anderson.
Edgar and Anderson.
Henderson. Okay, I thought you said Anderson.
Yeah. Okay.
I was like, now you guys are really getting fucking crazy.
Yeah, Frankie's lobbying for late August or September.
I don't know. There might be. I don't know. I'm so brain dead right now. I don't know. I didn't even know India was in Asia. What are you asking me about?
Aside from Ultimate Fighter in Brazil, have you ever thought about doing Ultimate Fighters between Latin countries like Venezuela? You had today like Mexico.
Oh yeah.
Puerto Rico,
Oh yeah.
Mexico.
Oh yeah. We're doing the UK versus Australia, and yeah, there's some rivalries, you know, that have stemmed from years of battling each other to soccer to whatever it might be.
Mexico versus Puerto Rico in boxing is one
Oh
of the
yeah,
best.
no doubt about it. I do. I know.
Fighter.
Yes, sir. We are very interested in doing stuff like that. Yep, and especially when you go into these countries like Puerto Rico and Mexico, where there might not be a ton of talent, you know, just in that country in those weight divisions, but you take two countries. Exactly.
You gotta come to watch.
Yep.
Yeah, first round just signed the best MMA fighter in Puerto Rico. Of course, it's young talent.
Yep. But if you take two countries, you take Mexico and you take Puerto Rico, you get 8 guys from both. Yeah.
And what does that countries need to get in the UFC?
What is what?
Does that countries needs to be with the UFC? We have the fighters, we got the talent, but
yeah,
what
no,
is
we're
needed?
working on it. It's gonna happen, man. I told all you guys, you know, a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever it was, that I said we're gonna take the Ultimate Fighter and we're gonna put it in all these different countries. And then we're going to get it to the point where we can have them, these countries fight each other like the World Cup and all that stuff. And now it's all happening. So the answer is yes, we're doing it. We're going everywhere.
Do you think you said that you would be okay with doing like regional champions in different countries? There's
No. That was not what I said. What I said was regional rankings.
Regional rankings.
Yeah, we're going to do regional rankings.
Do you feel like how you're expanding so much, and I know that's something that you guys really take pride in, is hitting all these different countries. Do you think you're going to force out some of these other international organizations? Do you think that's going to sort of kind of push the
What do you mean?
business out?
Other MMA organizations?
Yeah.
No, I think you're going to have these other organizations that, you know, will create talent, and then they're going to end up, you know, they're all feeder shows for the UFC. You know, and I don't mean that as an arrogant dickhead. I'm not saying that these guys aren't whatever. It is what it is.
Do you pay a lot of attention to a lot of the international organizations?
I don't, but I'm sure Joe Silva does.
Yeah.
That's where Joe Silva's looking for talent.
Even the Super Fight League?
Those guys especially. Done with me?
Yeah, I guess the last thing I didn't want to interrupt people, but the Silva Sonnen thing with all the question marks. Obviously, you got the press conference on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Everything finalized and answered by then, or is there a possibility?
Yeah. No, I will have all the answers.
Location, if that fight's being
Yep.
moved.
All the answers in Brazil on Tuesday.
Okay.
Yep. I better anyway. I'm fucking flying all the way down there. I better have some answers, right?
Are you worried at all about any backlash?
Hey everybody, we're here for the press conference. We don't know what's going on or what we're doing, but when this night happens, wherever it happens, it'll be fun.
Are you worried at all about any Brazilian backlash if you do have to pull that fight for logistical reasons? You know, obviously, I'm sure they want to see Anderson fight down there.
You know, listen, I get it. I'm sure I want to do a soccer stadium, you know, and have a big blowout, but it is what it is. It's not like you know, we're sitting here going, you know what, fuck it, we changed our mind. We don't want to do Brazil in a soccer stadium. We're going to move this fight somewhere else. This is what happened. This is, you know, this is unfortunate. It's the way things happen sometimes. You know, it's like you know, I get these tweets, it's like, hey Dana, you suck. Overeem's not fighting. Really? I suck because Overeem's not fighting? The fuck is that my fault, right? That's the kind of shit I got to listen to every day. So the fact that if we can't do it in Brazil and people are upset, I get it. I'm upset too. But that's the way it's happening. It's working out that way that we might not be able to do that fight there. It's not my fault.
Now, that June 23rd date you got on reserved for pay-per-view. I mean, how's that? Does that mean you just have to eat the date?
I don't know.
You don't know yet.
I don't know yet.
Tune in Tuesday, 11 a.m. Brazilian time.
Tuesday. I better have some answers on Tuesday.
Would Vegas be big? You talk about you still want to do it big.
Yes.
Is Vegas still big enough for it?
Yeah, I mean, that's where all the biggest fights in the world are held. Sure. You know, if it can't be done there, you know, you have options. For instance, like we couldn't do it in a soccer stadium in Brazil. We could do this fight in Toronto. You could do this fight in any city in Canada with a big enough arena. In Vegas, makes sense. Those are the places that make sense. You know, the thing that we like about Vegas is that Vegas is a destination where people will come all over the world. When people fly in for big fights, they want to gamble, they want to eat, they want to stay up late, they want to go to clubs, they want to shop, they want to do shit. You can do shit in Vegas.
Not to push the envelope too much on the topic, but
Puerto Rico?
Puerto Rico would be a great excuse to run from cold weather, you know, in the later parts of the year.
Dude, you ought to be the ambassador to Puerto Rico, my friend. You are?
I am.
I love it. We're coming to Puerto Rico. You see what we're doing there. You see what's going on.
I want you to tell them that because it's an issue. I've been trying to get to you for a year, and they need to hear.
I'm coming.
You want them to get invested in the process? Talk to them.
Yep.
I'm here for them.
Apparently, we've shown how invested we are in getting that market going. You know.
And I've been all the way.
When these guys get this close to a fight, first of all, you know, Jones and Evans were great for this fight. We got prime time following them around 24 hours a day. All the media that they got to do, the training, all this other shit. And I had to tell Rashad, you got to fly down to Puerto Rico. You know, it's a lot of work. But it goes to show you how important it is to us.
And I appreciate it. And I can sit with you, and I can name at least 90% of the people there receiving Rashad because they're fans of my website. And I'm working very hard for years and years to help you guys open Puerto Rico again.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you.
And I feel like almost crying because I'm so emotional.
We'll get it there. There's no need for that. We'll get it there. We're coming, I promise.
Dana, why'd you wait till Friday to put Mir versus Dos Santos, make it official?
What happened with this whole thing was I got my fucking marketing people terrorizing me about it just gets to the point where you got to run your business. You know, I tried to weigh out things. I'm not very optimistic about it. And I told Mir, sit on this, don't tell anybody. I don't want you to tell your wife, your kids, nobody. If this thing goes down, you know, you're going to get the next title shot. He sat on it. And then I got him on my ass, calling me all the time and everything else. And then when I gave Dos Santos and Mir the call, I was literally sitting on the plane to fly here. I said, you guys are fighting, you know? Told my marketing team, go, do your shit. We literally have the billboard we have in New York Times and New York Square, Times Square. That billboard was going to sit there as Jones Evans. There's so much more that goes into this that you guys don't know. If we don't get into the loop on pay-per-view, you don't get in a lot of the systems. There's just so many things that we have to do to run the business.
Do you think Alistair's going to be out for a lengthy amount of time?
I don't know I honestly, if I had an opinion or whatever, I would tell you. I honestly don't know what they're going to do to that dude.
Do you know what his defense is? He hasn't even filed with the commission, like what his defense is going to be. Have you guys, did you guys talk to him before you made this decision? Like what are you planning on saying or doing?
When I tell you that I am not involved in this, I am not involved in this. You know, you guys know how I am. That's why I said don't ask me about it. No, I'm not. I don't fucking care.
Is there like a contractual thing there, or is it? I mean, how would that work? Had he signed a contract for the fight already?
Yeah.
So, is there something in the contract where you have that right? The right to?
Is it my fault?
Well, I'm not saying it's your fault.
Yeah,
You know that.
I mean, again, it's just one of these things. We're dealing with professional athletes. The thing that, and I know this is a very touchy subject, and everybody has different opinions on it, but I think that I actually think that it's great that technology has this thing now where guys have made mistakes. They've messed up. They used steroids when they were younger, and all this other stuff. That this testosterone replacement therapy can actually help people who need it, And then you get into a situation now where, as in everything, you get guys who are out there doing it when they don't need to do it, and they're doing it to enhance their performance. It pisses me off. It really, really pisses me off. So, I know that through this thing, and I love when the media comes after us about all the steroid and testosterone shit. Again, I'll say it again, we're the fucking platinum standard for this shit in all of sports. We are. We test when we don't need to test. We do shit that we don't need to do. We go above and beyond, to make this thing right. And do you think, for example, look at the spot we're sitting in right now. Do you think we don't give a shit about this? We don't want anybody doing this stuff. We don't want anybody using banned substances or drugs or anything else. It destroys everything, Not only, questions about the credibility of the sport and everything else, it destroys big fights. Everybody was excited for this fight and wanted to see it. It hurts everybody. So it's something now. Listen, there's a lot of people who like to talk shit about us. We've done a lot of great things in the last 11 years with this sport. From building it to what it is today, guys making shitloads of money, health insurance for all the fighters, getting on Fox. We've done things that people said we would never, ever fucking do. Ever do. We've accomplished all these things. And when we, whether it's fighter safety or whatever it is, we always do the right thing, and we come out with what I think is the best way to handle it. And believe me when I tell you, we are gonna fucking come down on this thing, man. We are gonna do it. Is it me running around and testing 375 fighters all over the world? No. You guys can talk all the shit you want about that. It's not gonna happen, but we will figure something out, Maybe it's water,
So you are
That's how
open
you
to
go
more
in.
increased role. Because it sounded like in the beginning you were like, hey, it's fine the way it is, just everybody back away, it's cool. But now it sounds like maybe...
No, it's not cool. I didn't say it's fine now, it's cool the way it is. I said we're the most regulated sport on earth. We're the fucking platinum standard for this stuff, And I like to give guys, with my fighters and everybody, with people I meet, I've had situations with you. I've had situations with lots of people. It's how you fucking handle yourself as a man in life, in business, and everything else. If you sit down and tell me, one thing, and it's not true, or you do another thing, then fuck you. I'm done. Have a good night, you guys.
Thanks, Dana.
All right? Hammer, how are you, man?
I was staying just check on you, man. I know you won Brazil tonight.
Good to see you.
Did you get a chance to say hi to the mayor tonight?
I did.
Oh, good.
I did. Thank you.
Yeah, 'cause I invited him 2 months ago, and I talked to him all day, and I see you took care of him, man. So I just wanted to say hi. Get some rest on that flight.
I am.
Yeah.
I'm going to die on this flight.
I'll see you in a little bit.
All right. Thank
take care,
you.
Dan.
Pleasure, brother. Thank you, guys.
I'm going to say thanks for letting me come down.